All right, we'll get a new 30-minute game going. The previous game went exceptionally quickly, so I'm going to record a second game today. This will be the game for day 69 of the series. Very exciting. King's Pawns come out. King's Side Knight to f3. I'm expecting to see them defend this pawn somehow. Knight to c6 is a great way to defend the pawn. They play with d6, and the way that I've handled this in the past is continuing to play bishop to b5, expecting to see like knight out or pawn out. I don't know if this is correct. The chess.com move order thing says that this is the philidor-defense. And I don't know anything about that. Oh, this is interesting. They block with their light squared bishop. So do we want to trade here and force their queen? I guess we could force their queen onto d7, or I don't know. Maybe we just drop back to c4. That feels like a fine spot for our light squared bishop. Not ready to trade off quite yet. All right. They develop, I think, naturally h6, allowing us to castle. I think maybe we wasted the tempo doing this check here and then coming back, and I feel like h6 is a little bit of a waste of a tempo as well. They probably don't need to do that quite yet. But it allows us to continue developing. h3 might actually be decent. Well, they've already moved their light squared bishop once. I think they're unlikely to move it again. So maybe we just develop naturally, get our other knight out. Can we play d4 in one fell swoop? I don't see why not. And sort of break up this center that they have. d4 takes, and I think we have a decent position. I guess our light squared bishop is hanging. Here we go. They come out hitting our pawns. Maybe rook to e1. I mean, we do have a defender here. Let's go ahead and play d4 in one fell swoop. Yeah, this is looking good for us. We've got a strong position. Our opponent is wasting time playing moves like a6 and h6. So I'm feeling pretty good about this so far. They get their knight out. I think probably a moment too late. I guess we can take here. They take, we take, they take, and then rook comes out to e1, pinning. Or no, our pawn will still be on e4. So I wonder, do we push here? That would be interesting. Forcing their knight to move again, although their knight comes out to a5 most likely, so I don't actually like that very much. You know what? I don't think I was supposed to develop my knight quite yet. I think the idea here in the Roy Lopez is often c3 and then d4, and c3 sort of provides a nice spot for the light squared bishop to go to. But we're in a somewhat different position here, so maybe that's not the end of the world. So I think if we take. Do we take? Let's go ahead and take. You take back. Maybe rook out to e1, bishop out to c3. These look like decent, unassuming moves. Not doing anything too crazy here. I guess we could get our queen out to e2 too, and then like rook over to d1. Oh, actually, that looks like it could be fun. We also have takes on f7, which I think they need to respond to with king takes, and then we have, I guess we don't have this because it's blocked by their knight. Maybe we just get our bishop out, queen up, and then we can get our rooks doubled. This does potentially remove a defender if we play rook to e1. It's no longer guarding the e4 pawn, and I think there's some versions of the Roy Lopez where they get castled, they get their rook out to e1, they get their bishop out to b7, and they're putting like a ton of pressure on this e4 pawn, but that is not happening right now. So I'm not super worried about it. Maybe playing, now that they're getting pieces developed, maybe playing h3 would be a good idea to prevent both of these pieces from coming out to g4, and maybe I should have played that first before getting my dark squared bishop out, because I think this looks like an unpleasant threat. This also is defended by their light squared bishop and adds another defender to this e5 pawn. So I think h3 looks really good. Knight out to d5 looks good. It's protected by this pawn. And if they want to take, we can take back, and we open up this nice open file to attack their king. But I want to play h3 first. Depending, of course, any other nastiness that they might come up with. Bishop out to e7 looks fine, allowing them to castle. Okay, they get their bishop out. Yeah, let's go ahead and play h3, curb the development of both of these pieces. And then I like knight to d5. They get their queen out in front of their king. Dangerous place for a queen to be. So now, bonus points, this knight to d5 comes with the added attack on their queen. So if they take, we take. They need to move their knight out of the way. Oh yeah, it's looking very likely that this e-file is going to clear out in a hurry. And we will be able to rook over to e1, pin their queen to their king. I think that's how this is going to work out. Although, I guess they have this bishop defending their e5 pawn. I guess we'll see. What I'm imagining is like takes, knight comes out, takes, rook over to e1. Oh, shucks. It doesn't quite work because our dark squared bishop is still in the way. But depending on how they castle, no, we won't be able to deliver check regardless. Okay. Still, I think this is an appealing tactical idea. We could even entertain like a bishop sacrifice on g5 or h6. Let's see, what are our opponent's other options here? Queen up to e6 is terrible because it allows both this, just an enormous power play here. Queen up to e6, getting the queen out of the way allows knight takes on c7, forking their king, their queen, and the rook. Discovered attack on the queen. I think they probably just drop back and take, but then we win their queen for 2 pieces, which is a great deal. What else? They can't castle immediately because they lose their queen. Oh my gosh. So what is, I mean, we just take the queen, right? This is super duper forcing. They have to, it comes with checks, so they have to take back with their bishop. Or they take back with their knight. Geez, yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do this. Maybe I should have spent a little bit more time analyzing, but all their pieces are on the 6th, 7th, and 8th rank. Our opponent resigns. Geez, another lightning fast game. We're just at 10 minutes on the clock here. Let's take a look at the review. Switch to the analysis board. I mean, yeah, obviously our opponent resigns here. E4, E5. What is the right move here? D4 looks like the strongest. Bishop C4 is decent. Knight C3 is decent. So bishop B5 maybe a little bit overly ambitious. Dropping back to C4 is the strongest move for white. So I'm glad I identified that, but landing on C4 first would have been a little bit better for us. We get castled, our opponent pushes another pawn, and I mean you can see in the analysis like the engine eval is creeping up by like tenths of a point every time they play one of these like waiting moves, just because they're not. You want to develop your pieces in the opening. You don't want to be just pushing pawns. Knight to C3 was a mistake here. I think typically the idea in the Roy Lopez is you want to play C3 and then D4, creating a very formidable center. And I did not do that, so that was a mistake. Knights come out. We play D4 all the way. Takes. Bishop comes out. This was a mistake as well. I think bishop out to D2 would have been a little bit better, or even just like leaving our bishop alone for the time being. Happy to see H3 on the list of good moves for the engine. This is about even. Yeah, and then obviously the critical blunder of the game. Knight takes D5 or queen to D8 or queen to F8 would have been good here. Our opponent castles, bizarrely enough, and knight takes on E7 check. Super forcing, if they had a tactic in mind, which I can't imagine what that would have been, that's not an option. We just win their queen for a knight, and the game is over. Super weird. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over this. I think I will record a third game today. These games are going super quick. So I'm going to call it here. Have a good one, everyone.